My neighbor left her 6 children on my doorstep, so I sent her a video of her children being picked up by child services. My husband and I live in a cul-de-sac. Everyone is too close to one another, which means people are naturally in each other's business. Right from the beginning, I had issues with one of our neighbors. She is the type of woman who lets her children wander about without a care, but that is not the worst part. She has an uncanny skill for talking the neighbors into babysitting for her. I am normally the type to say no, but I have been roped into it way too many times. Yesterday she came knocking on my door again, so I pretended I wasn't home. She continued hitting harder, and I thought she would yank the letterbox immediately. So, I went to answer. She quickly said a few sentences I didn't quite understand and that she would return on Sunday. She has 6 children ranging from 6 months to 7 years old. I told her I couldn't, and she said the black cab awaited her. I tried to grab her hand to stop her from leaving. I said I could not, so she ran off and got in the cab. I was pissed, and that is putting it mildly. I waited 40 minutes and then texted her that if she couldn't pick them up in 10, I would call children's services. She didn't answer the text, so I called her. She didn't pick up on the first 2 rings but picked up on the third. I told her the same thing again, and she tried to tell me it was too late for her to come back as she was out of the city and that if I didn't want to watch them drop them off at Jennifer's, the 68-year-old lady with health issues living on the opposite side of me. I repeated that if she wasn't here in 10, she could pick them up at the local council if they decided she was a fit enough mother. She said a few bad words and told me I would never, so I did as in the moment. It felt like she was baiting me. After phoning child services, I texted her that it was done. She phoned me back and said she was halfway to Blackpool and would murder me if it were true. So, I sent her a video when child services picked them up. The police were there, too. As they said, they often tag along for collecting abandoned children in case something criminal has happened, and they ask a lot of questions about the mother. Last night, my husband and I had a huge fight. My husband was in foster care, and he said, "Right cow you are." He said I should have declined at the door instead of waiting 40 minutes before calling CSC when the mother couldn't reasonably pick them up in 10 minutes. He said I had other options, like not opening the door or running after her and throwing the children into the black cab instead of giving silent consent. He also said I did it on purpose as the mother offered Jennifer as an alternative, so why hadn't I done that? In my defense, I am not comfortable handing over children to a third party, and good manners say you don't show up on an elderly lady's doorstep and give her 6 unruly children to deal with for a few days. I would never have lived down that shame. My husband argued that once I had dropped them off at Jennifer's, it would no longer be my business but something between the mother and our other neighbor. He told me anything that happened to those children in care was on my head, and then he told me what he experienced and what he knew of others who had experienced it. I haven't slept much and my husband left for work without speaking to me. I wonder if I should go back to child services and say I overreacted or that it was a misunderstanding and find a way to make it up to the children and get them out of there. I had no idea foster care was that bad.